1, 2, 3.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's Rosemary, the San Gabriel Valley Girl. So today is May 1st, 2019, and this is my 13th vlog. I did a vlog about 2 weeks ago, so you should check that out, my 12th one. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. Well, anyways, this is my 13th vlog, and what I wanted this one to be about is basically updating a few things I said in prior vlogs. And one of the things is I talked about in one of my prior vlogs about how it takes 7 seconds for a thought to gain momentum. And really, I was wrong. It's actually 17 seconds. It takes 17 seconds for a thought to gain momentum, not 7 seconds. And what I mean by that is if you're thinking a negative thought or a positive thought, 17 seconds. After 17 seconds, that's when momentum starts. That's when that thought has grabbed a hold of you and is going in that direction. And so of course, after 17 seconds, you can still switch the thought or whatever is bothering you, but it makes it a little more difficult. So if you keep it in mind that if you can switch that thought to a better feeling thought within the 17 seconds, you know, that's a good thing, because you're not gonna end up dwelling and obsessing and, you know, driving yourself crazy and so forth. So that's good to mention, and that's good to know, and that's good to clarify. Another thing that I had mentioned in one of my prior vlogs is about switching a negative thought to a positive thought, and I mentioned the 21-day rule on how it takes 21 days of starting a new ritual before it becomes habitual, which that is true, but I should have, instead of telling you guys switch it to a positive when you have a negative thought, which is basically what I did, and I was very strict and stern about how I don't want to think this way anymore, and yada yada yada. And of course, we're human beings, we're always going to have negative feelings and thoughts, but the important thing is that we don't dwell on them and let them catch hold of momentum and so forth, where, you know, it's affecting our well-being, our mental state, our physical state, so forth. So basically, what I should have mentioned is be gradual about it. You want to be gradual. You don't excuse me, you don't necessarily want to switch it to a positive, because if you're thinking a negative thought, especially in the beginning, because if you're going 80 miles in a bus this way and you just all of a sudden want to go 80 miles in the opposite direction, it's a lot more difficult, if not seemingly impossible. So, and I was gradual at times too when I was starting out. So I wanted to correct that and let you guys know, let's say you're thinking a negative thought, a gradual saying would be, things are always working out for me, things are always working out for me, or the situation's getting better, the situation's getting better. I believe this is going to go in my favor. Everything's okay, everything's working out for me. I'm getting better and better at all the time. You know what I mean? And by being more gradual about it, eventually the gradualness, that's a word, it makes sense. The gradualness of doing that will allow you to eventually just get used to it, and the switching to a positive, or switching from a negative to a positive, will become more natural and more easy. So gradual. And I can give you a quick example real quick. I have this friend, and you know, we were talking about vibration, energy, and how, you know, our mind and how it's everything and it creates our reality and so forth, for the good or the bad, you know. And she was talking about not having a lot of money and so forth, and how she remembers me telling her, you know, speak the opposite thought and say, I have a lot of money, and or I'm rich. And it didn't seem to be working out for her. And I said, well, how are you feeling about that? And she's like, how do you feel? And because remember too, when you're saying the thoughts, you have to feel them as well. If you really feel like you're totally lying to yourself, like she has no money and she's saying she has a lot of money, since she's feeling that she's truly lying to herself, it's not really going to work out for her. That's why, again, you want to be gradual. And so I said, well, so I feel like I'm lying to myself. And I said, I'm sorry, I should have told you to be more gradual and soft about it, and just be like, my financial situation is getting better and better every day. Things are working out for me. I can feel that money's coming, or just, you know, if it's a money issue, a health issue, whatever direction your crazy mind is taking you in, you want to be gradual about it towards the positive. Remember, we're all vibrational beings, we're all energy, and like attracts like, and that's just the way it is. So once you learn about vibrations and you understand how what we think and what we feel is more, we attract more of it. It's an interesting thing, and it's something that I'm very grateful that I've learned and really incorporated it into my life. And the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about, that I wanted to update you all on one of my prior vlogs, is meditation. Now, I did a whole vlog about meditation, and the meditation I was doing at that time was the mantra meditation, you know, focusing on a word, which was release. You could use whatever you want. And, you know, because when you close your eyes and you go into meditation, you know, it feels like hundreds of thousands of thoughts are just like in your mind. So you want to have something to focus on and go to. Well, that was a great meditation, and that was working well for me. But since then, I've found that the easiest, simplest, and most efficient meditation is focusing on a sound, a very subtle, soft, minuscule sound in the background. I like an air conditioner. It could be the central air, central heater, or a space heater. Any of those work well, and it just, so when you, instead of that mantra and closing your eyes and just saying that word, you really just focus on that really soft, subtle noise. It could even be something soft like a dripping of a faucet or flickering of a candle, but that's the sound I found that works best for me. And why I feel this meditation is more efficient and easier because you don't really have to keep saying that word in your head. Just focus on the sound, which is easier. And what makes it more efficient and better is that, you know, after, like, you just need 15 to 20 minutes. That's all you need. If you want to go up to 30 or whatever, that's fine. I've done that before, but 15 to 20 minutes is proven. That's all you need a day. So don't stress yourself out. But so when you're at that, let's say after about 5 minutes of the mind chatter going away and dissipating, you know, some days it'll take longer, some days it'll take shorter, since I practice it a lot. So I've gotten better at it. But what I've learned is, and found out with this meditation, is that source, once I get to that spot where there's just no thought, I feel like I'm floating, and, you know, and I guess like parts of my body might move a little bit, but not in a scary way, in a nice way. And I feel like thoughts will come into my mind, and maybe a song or an idea or something inspirational. And how you can distinguish, real quick, let me just add this, how you can distinguish a thought that's coming from source or a thought that you're just thinking on your own is basically in the beginning of the meditation, you're thinking all these thoughts and they're your own thoughts. But once you reach a point where you are at no thought and there's no thought in your mind and you're just 100% calm and you could just feel at one with the universe, or just like literally like no thought. Sometimes it'll just be no thought, and sometimes it'll be a song or an idea or a place that you should go or something like that. But once you reach the point where there's no thought and then something just comes, you'll feel it and you'll know it, but that's how you know it's coming from source. So yeah, so that's basically the 3 things I wanted to talk about real quick today. And so yeah, so I did my 12th vlog a couple weeks ago. Check it out. Hopefully this helped you, and I will be doing another vlog soon. Okay, so nice being back. Have a great night. It's nighttime. I'll be here now. Take care, you guys. Bye.